So after you put Cain to rest, you have to go to this city called Caldeum, which is like the capital of the desert or whatever, and you have to kill Belial. Apparently Belial is the Lord of Lies, and he's one of the last 2 evils that exist. Apparently there's 3 prime evils and 4 lesser evils. They had to draw straws to decide who was who, I guess, in the end. I don't know. That's just the way it is. Fuck it. You go over to get to Caldeum, and everything's fucked. There's a million refugees outside, like, hey, guards, we're, like, dying and shit. Can I get some water and some food? And they're like, fuck you. You're not getting in the city. Oh, okay, I'll just sit out here and die and starve to death. Goddamn right you will. It ends up that the king of the city is not letting anybody in because, I don't know. You find out Magda is off in the desert with her cultists and doing weird cultist shit. And let me do an aside real quick to say 2 things. 1, the cultists are fucking hilariously incompetent. They'll say shit like, oh, we're gonna kill you. And then you just show up and literally Hadoken their fucking faces off and they just go flying into pits. And 2, Cain has at least 5 billion satchels just lying about in the world. You cannot walk 5 feet in Diablo 3 without finding Cain's lost satchels. So I could only imagine what it was like absent-mindedly wandering around. Oh, Leah, I've lost another satchel. God damn it, uncle. And they just have to keep spending all their money on an infinite amount of satchels. Oh, Leah, I lost a satchel. Where's my pudding? So you find Magda eventually after figuring out that the royal guards are actually all Belial's henchmen, which might explain why they were just letting refugees starve to death and die. So they all turn into serpents. They're like, oh, we're gonna kill you, and you just fucking kill them. And Magda's like, oh, yes, we have Leah, now you'll die. And you're like, you know that Belial actually sent you out here as a diversion. He actually sent you out here to die. I'm gonna kill you now. By the way, thanks for always telling me about your plans and where you're gonna go. That's pretty ace work there, thanks. She's like, oh, the Lord of Lies and Deception and Deceit? He would never betray me. How dare you say something so ludicrous? You fucking kill Magda, and you go back to town, and Tyrael is fucking useless. Let me tell you about Tyrael, okay? Tyrael used to be the shit, and now, take the out, he is shit. He doesn't do anything. He lets Leah get captured, he hands out his trust like it's fucking candy on Halloween. Tyrael's useless. He's worthless. He just sits there in town and does nothing while you go out and do all the back-breaking labor. But you get back to town, Tyrael's all like, oh, we lost Leah. And you're like, oh, fuck you. And so you go and find out Leah is being held by the king or whatever. You go in, and by the way, the king is a kid. Oh, yes, you're here. Well, I'll just order my guards to kill you. And they'll kill us, they all turn into snakes. And he sees them turn into snakes and shit. And he's like, yes, I'll just let them kill you. And then he walks away. So you kill the guards, you save Leah, you go back into the store. And Leah's like, oh, I found out my mom's alive. And you're like, maybe you should kind of chill out on that. Maybe there's a reason Cain didn't tell you about her. She's like, oh, Cain trusted her explicitly. Let's back the fuck up for a second here. Cain told her that Adria, Leah's mom, was dead. That's pretty much fucking it, really. Cain never really said anything else about her. So when Leah's all like, oh, Cain trusted my mom really well, I don't know where she's fucking getting that from. She's pulling that out of her ass. I just don't know. I don't get it. You find Adria, who's conveniently on your way back to town, conveniently being tortured by some of Belial's minions. Gee, that's sure coincidental there. Get Adria, and she's all like, oh, my daughter, it's so nice to see you. Cain trusted me so well. And she's like, oh, I know, it's wonderful. Let's take an aside real quick to talk about Adria. Adria was the witch from Diablo 1. You knew she was a witch. The townsfolk knew she was a witch. Everybody knew she was a witch. Cain didn't have anything good to say about her. Didn't have one lick of good to say about her. In fact, if I remember correctly, he was like, dude, I don't know why that bitch is here. I don't fucking trust her. Don't deal with her. She's bad news bears. Okay, Cain knew she was bad news bears, and then she disappears for 20 years, and Cain's like, well, she's dead. And then all of a sudden, Leah just grabs onto her like she's the next best thing to sliced bread, and she's like, oh, Adria, it's so great to see you. And Adria's like, I'm totally on the up and up. I love you, daughter of mine. It's so good to be working for the good side, like I have been forever. Magda talks about it. She's like, oh yes, I've worked with Adria before. We did consultant work together. You know, she's done some questionable shit. And when you ask her about it, she's like, I had to go undercover to pretend to work for evil. But in actuality, I was always a good guy. Meanwhile, while everybody's buying this, Tyrael's buying it, Leah's buying it, the hero's like, whatever man, you seem kinda on the up and up with me, bro. Cain is rolling around in his grave for the amount of sheer stupidity that is happening right now. Like, everybody's IQ dropped 50 points apiece when Cain died. I swear. And he's just spinning. He's like in a tumble dryer right now, in his grave. Just fucking bouncing around, thinking, why the fuck are you trusting this bitch? So she somehow knows about this thing called the Black Soulstone, which apparently is the one thing that can contain all the evils and end this once and for all. Why regular soulstones don't work anymore? I don't know. And that's when we get into, hands down, best dude, Zoltun Kulle. Zoltun Kulle was right all along about everything. Everything. He was not wrong about one single thing. Not one. He tells you about how the angels fucking had a debate and barely passed the let's not fucking genocide the humans ruling. He knows from the beginning that demons and angels are all dicks. He knows that you are a Nephilim. He knows that Adria is not on the up and up and that they're just using you. He tells you that multiple fucking times. That, hey, bro, I don't wanna hurt your feelings or nothing, but you're being used. The character's like, oh, whatever, I trust Adria. So, from the get-go, Zoltun Kulle knows exactly what's up with everything. And his original goal, back before he got imprisoned by the Haradrim, was, let's fucking kill the angels and the demons. And the Haradrim were like, but the angels are helping us. No, they weren't. It was only fucking Tyrael. And Tyrael knew, if the fucking angels knew about the demons, down on Earth, they just fucking genocide everybody. He knew that. He fucking knew that. And so does Zoltun Kulle. And so he's like, look guys, I have an idea. Why don't we just fuck everybody? Humans can just exist by themselves on top. Because nobody's really here to help us. And the Haradrim are like, that's stupid, why would you do that? And just decided to imprison him for no fucking reason. So you've got to resurrect Zoltun Kulle. And on the way to do this, Hakan, the emperor who wanted his snaky guards to kill you, somehow meets you in person in the sword when you're going out to do this stuff for Zoltun Kulle. And he's like, bro, dude, I'm gonna open this gate for you, and then I'm gonna find out who Belial is. And you're like, haven't you been, like, ordering people to death and shit? Dude, I'm gonna find the Lord of Deception and Lies and Deceit for you, because I'm totally not Belial. That's not very convincing, but how did you know I was gonna be here? Gonna find Belial for you. So you go into the desert, and eventually you get into the place where Zoltun Kulle's blood is, or whatever the fuck. Emperor Hakan just fucking magically appears in ghost form, and he's like, dude, don't ask me how I knew you were gonna be in this exact location at this exact time. I'm totally not keeping tabs on you or anything. I just wanted to let you know I'm totally still looking for Belial. And you're like, thanks for letting me know that you are still looking for him. Did you want to tell me anything else while you're here? Nope. I just wanted to reassure you that I am totally on top of this looking for Belial thing. Totally not Belial. Totally. It's like, could they make it any more fucking obvious? Like, they're beating you over the heads with this kid just saying, I'm totally not Belial. And I wouldn't be so pissed off about this if it wasn't for the fact that the entirety of Act 2, up until the very end, is comprised of all the main characters repeatedly saying, oh, where's Belial? Oh my god, who's Belial? And it's like, how fucking stupid can you be? You know, the main character, every time the little kid leaves, is like, I wonder if Emperor Hakan is hiding something. No shit! Just fucking whatever. So you resurrect Zoltun Kulle, and Zoltun Kulle is like, dude, I don't know why, but the Black Soulstone already has all the evils inside of it. That shit's not right. But tell you what, you join with me right now, we'll lead humanity, alright, fucking get rid of demons, get rid of angels, and we'll just survive. The player character's like, I trust Adria explicitly! And then you have to kill Zoltun Kulle. Like, if it was my choice, I'd just let myself die to Kulle, and then have him just rule over everybody. Because if you think about it, Diablo, Zoltun Kulle. Who's gonna be better for everybody? The Lord of Terror himself? Or the dude who wants to see humans actually be able to be humans without risk of going to war or being genocided by other worldly powers? You get the Black Soulstone because you have to kill Kulle, unfortunately. And Adria's like, I'm totally not evil. Leah, channel all of your magical energy into the Black Soulstone for no particular reason. Just do it, bitch. So Leah starts channeling her energy into the Black Soulstone to stabilize it. Tyrael's cool with this. He's like, well, everything seems to be legit. Let's go take out Belial. And by let's go take out Belial, I mean, let's have the Nephilim do all the fucking work. And then take credit for it. And you find out the town is being sieged by Belial, and you gotta save a bunch of people. You see Emperor Hakan, and he's like, oops, I'm Belial. Who knew? So you fight him. First form, you take out all the serpents and stuff, and he's summoning more snakes and, beating them up. And then all of a sudden he says, fuck this. I'm gonna turn into Galactus. And then he turns into Galactus and says, I'm going to eat your world. And you're like, oh my fucking god. And he's shooting out lasers and shit. Things are final. It's fucking epic. The boss fight is just fucking crazy. Because he just like, oh, and you're like, whoa, and then you beat him. Somehow. And you trap him in the Black Soulstone. And Adria's like, keep pouring your energy into it, Leah. Keep doing that, Leah. And Leah's like, you got it, Mom. Because Cain trusted you. Well, Cain's still fucking in the tumble dryer. And that's Act 2.